Hi, my name is Cheryl Piotrowski of Hand Stamp by Cheryl, and I live in the Castleton-Geist area of Indianapolis, and I am so excited that you signed up for this month's Bella Rose subscription box. Inside your box, you have the components to make a handmade card, and so I am here to walk you through that. Now, if you get done making your card, I want to make sure you take a picture and send it to me or post it on my Facebook page or comment on this YouTube video so that I know that you finished your card. Because part of my mission is to help create, inspire, and share, and just try and inspire creativity in others. Because I grew up thinking that I was not crafty, and it wasn't until I was invited to a card making class about 15 years ago now that I was like so excited with the end result. And I already sent cards. So this was a way for me to have a new hobby, meet some new friends, as well as, encourage people through sending handmade cards, which is becoming sort of a lost art these days. And that's unfortunate. So I'm here to walk you through this card, and if you ever want to make your own, again, make sure you check out my events. I have about 5 or 6 a month, public events at my house here in my craft room, or private events where I can come to you and do it with your group of friends. So let's get started. So go ahead and pull out the contents inside your bag, and you will find a brochure which tells you a little bit about Stampin' Up! So I'm considered a demonstrator, and they call it that rather than a consultant, I guess, is because we demonstrate products. So if you go to craft stores and you walk in, you might be overwhelmed by all the different craft supplies that are there. So this is a way for you to purchase craft supplies, but have someone that can help you decide exactly what you need, but also demonstrate the products, because sometimes we get them and we don't exactly know how to use them. So make sure you check out this brochure. It tells you how to make beautiful things, has my contact information on the back, and it just has some inspiration of the stamps that we use and sell if you're wanting to make your own cards or even scrapbooks or things like that. So for this card, we're actually not going to be stamping at all, which is quite unusual, but it worked out easier in this format to just be die cutting and then sort of assembling instead. So go ahead and pull out your envelope and then dump everything out so you can see what we'll be working with. This is a Whisper White envelope. Okay, and because Sarah had wanted to make a fall theme card, I decided to use these 3 colors. Stampin' Up! Has 53 colors in their catalog, which is nice because everything coordinates. So the cardstock, the pattern paper, as well as ribbons and embellishments and things like that. So we're going to be using this color, which is called Cajun Craze. This is Mossy Meadow, and this is Sahara Sand. And so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to grab the card base. And as you can see here, I've already scored it on this line. But what I like about using this cardstock, it's 8.5 by 11. And so basically you just cut this piece of paper in half, and that will give you 2 card bases. So this size card base is called an A2 card. And so you'll just fold it along the score line. And you can do that pretty easily without any tools. However, this is what's called a bone folder. And it's just a way for you to run it along to get a harder, crisper crease there. Okay? So that is our card base. We'll go ahead and set that aside. And then we'll look at some of the other components in here. Okay? So I've already die cut everything out for you, and for that I use what's called a Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And these come in 2 different sizes. So this is the bigger one, but there is a mini. So we'll be using that here in a moment. But until then, we're also going to talk adhesive. So we're using 3 different kinds of adhesive on this card. So you don't even need to provide your own. These are called glue dots. Then we're using one called Terran tape. So it comes on a roll that looks like this, and it's actually my favorite because you just pull it off and then you rip it and then you put it on, and then when you're ready to adhere it, you then pull off the second piece of white here. Okay, so that's called tear and tape. And then the third adhesive is called Adhesive Sheets, and those come in a pack like this. And what you do is you put them on the back of something before you run it through the die cut machine, and then you can pop it out, and it essentially is a sticker. Okay, so let's get started. So if you want to see what the card looks like before we get started, this is the finished product. And as you can see here, there is a card mat behind that is dry embossed, which just adds texture to your card making. And I've already done that for you, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how I did it. So we're moving in this die cutting and embossing machine, so it does two different things. And when you have an embossing folder, I like to label them so I remember the name of it. This one's called Bark. So we're taking our Sahara sand piece of paper and you're putting it in between. And then you're basically creating a sandwich, applying pressure so that it will add texture. Okay, you crank it through, so it's manual, it's not electric. That gives it the option to do two things instead of the electric ones just do the cutting. And so now you can see there's texture there. Okay, now for your card, I have already applied the tear and tape to the back, but since I just ran this through, I haven't done that, so I'm gonna rip a couple pieces of this off. And one more should be good. Okay, and then from here, you need to either use nails or some kind of tool. This is called a pick tool, and I use it a lot. It has a spatula end over here for things like this. It also has a poking, piercing tool here on this side. And then it has this feature that has putty, so that if you have a small piece, like your bird, where'd your bird go? Right, you can just use it to pick it up because it's got putty and then place it exactly where you want. So that's called this pick tool. And so that can help you just get these white pieces off. So go ahead and do that. Okay, and then we're going to pull in your card base, and we'll go ahead and put that down. Next, we're going to go ahead and take this mossy meadow piece that's going to function as our grass. And on the back side, I already have the tear and tape down, so you'll want to just rip it, but make sure you're doing it up towards this top so that you're not getting in the way of the tear and tape, which is going to go at the bottom. Okay, so just give it a good old rip. Okay, something like that. Then you're going to tear off or pull off the top of this tear and tape again, and go ahead and put it down. So this is the suite of products that we'll be using. It's called Beauty of the Earth. This is the stamp set. It's called Beauty of Friendship, and because you don't have this or access to inks, we won't be using this stamp set, but I wanted you to see what it looks like. These are called photopolymer stamps, and you need a clear block for them to go on, and then you apply them in ink, and then you can stamp. So instead, we're going to be working with the dies. And this is a group of dies that coordinate with those stamp sets. So after you stamp, you can then cut out the images using that same die cut machine. So we're going to be putting together your tree. So we use this die, and then we used this outer ridge die, and then we use the detailed die. We also use this die to cut out the birds. Okay. So in addition to the stamps and the dies, we have so much pretty paper, which I love because I'm also a scrapbooker. But this pack is called Beauty of the Earth, and it has 12 pieces in it, 6 different designs, 2 each, and each one is double-sided, so you can see there's a different pattern on each side. And this particular pack has a lot of fall themes, but also some winter looks. So like this one is trees, but it looks somewhat winterish, right? I already saw that one. This one's pretty. This one definitely gets me excited for fall. Okay, and then this is the piece that we're going to be using to make our trees. And then this is the piece that we're going to be using to make our tree trunk. This one's really pretty too. Okay, so it just gives you an idea of how we're going to be making our trees. Okay, so I already punched out your tree trunk using that paper, and I've already applied the adhesive sheet to the back. So you can just go ahead and peel this off. And then apply it to the base leaves in the mossy meadow. Now this piece is still sticky here, so be careful with that. We can go ahead and apply this down here, right? So now you just need to take off these. Okay, and I moved it over a little bit to the left, just like that. Okay, and then press it down. And then lastly, this is the die cut piece that I use this paper with, and then you can just add some fun color to the top. Now there might be a couple areas that you might need to, yep, right here, like you might need to punch out if I didn't get it all the way. So you see that right there, they just pop out. But in order to apply this, if you have, you know, like a glue stick at home, you can do that. But this is the glue. This is why I included the glue dots. So when you take these off, you can use your nails again, but you'll just pluck off one of the dots, and there's adhesive on it. You'll probably want to use all but one, because you're going to need one to put your bird on, right? So just find some spaces where it's big enough to fit a glue dot. Maybe over here. Okay, and then once you have them on, then you're going to need to pluck the backing off. So again, using your nails. Okay, you see how they just come off, and then those are trash. Okay, got one more. So I did 5. You could probably do more than 5, but I think that's okay. Okay, and then you'll just set it down on top of your tree. How cute is that? I've got one little piece that's hanging out there. Okay, we have 2 more steps and then we are all finished. So next is the sentiment that I've already die cut out for you that says thanks. It's already on the adhesive sheet, so it is a sticker. You might need to just sort of poke out some of the insides there, or you just peel off the backing and some of them come off with it like that, right? And then you can just set it down wherever you want. I think I might put mine on the grass this time. Last time I did not, so I'm gonna try the grass. It's got a nice contrast there. And then lastly is our bird. So some birds might be facing to the right and some might be facing to the left. You could flip it over if you want, but there is a better way to apply it, so you can tell probably which direction to put it on. So you're going to be using your glue dots again, and just put one on the back of your bird, and then use your nails to pull that off, and you can put the bird wherever you want. You could also make a little nest for him or something like that, but I like how the tail is just sort of peeking off on the sandpaper, so you can pick it out there. So cute. I'm sure you can find someone to send a thank you card to. Thanks for crafting with me today. I hope you had fun. Don't forget, if you live in the Indy area, you should check out my event schedule. You can also scan this QR code and follow me on your favorite social media. I'd love if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget, I'd love to see a picture of the card you made. So look forward to connecting with you. Happy crafting.